Kumbaya. What a nice moment in the Matrix to unplug. That's what we're here for, baby. Good. What a great moment. Welcome to the YouTube of Bryan's World. It's a tube on you. It's a tube of you. Is this? Okay. That's got to be that. Okay, we're good. Okay, I am using YouTube's raw dog straight from the studio in YouTube into the Ethernet out into the live broadcast world where they either find you or they don't find you. But either way, we keep it rocking. What's up, Daniel? Hell yeah, man. Go Cavs. The Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, I used to do live streams. Y'all know I would have been going crazy if I was still doing streams. You know how crazy a game 7 in the playoffs might have been. A good old throw it back to my sports streaming days. Gil Ambrose. I still got Wacky Wisdom Sports with me. Hey, maybe you never know. You never know. You might see Bryan. It's a new host on Wacky Wisdom Sports. There is that channel is still alive. It got up to 300 subscribers. I would run both my sports streams on this and the other one, and Thunder Cavs. I mean, what a interesting Final Four for the NBA basketball. It's kind of a life lesson, you know. You never know where things are gonna go, and the only thing that's constant is change and evolution. And I mean, Spurs were a dumpster fire 4 years ago. I don't think the Thunder, maybe they had some prospects and they looked like a future team, but they weren't there yet. Cavs were still like, I don't think we had Donnie yet. And the Knicks, I think, like, we're holding on to maybe RJ Barrett being like the main guy and Julius Randle. I think the Knicks were probably the better team out of all the teams back 4 years ago, to be honest. They got a whole different team. So yeah, you know, things shift, things change. Sports is a good example for us to learn from, you know. But the game always goes on. There's always going to be a game from year to year. And it might not be the same guys in the same situations. It might not be going well. It might be going dog shit, horrible, dumpster fire, rebuilding mode. You got to rebuild in life sometimes. Hey, I talk about that. If you rebuild in life over and over, and just have a hairline trigger for just scrapping things and redoing it. Oh yeah, after a year of doing that, next thing you know, bam. You just went from a play-in team to seed number 4 or something, getting in the Eastern Conference Finals, you know? That's life, baby. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for everyone to have fun too. I don't like being too much of work all the time, you know? It's good to challenge yourself, but it's also good to not challenge yourself too much, because then you'll lose track of, like, you know, it's a balance. That's my biggest thing. That's really all. That's what this is. What do you podcast about? I podcast about the balance. Okay. It helps that I have multiple personality disorder, so we can talk about all sorts of different energies of life and have some interesting introspectives. But yeah, you want to feel aligned. Everyone wants to feel aligned and like they're doing the right thing. A lot of times people have too much of a challenge in some way or another to not be able to do at least some of the things they want to do. Whether you have a job that you work a lot of hours at, whether you have a literal disability, whether you have a high amount of responsibilities or don't have enough responsibilities, it all it all finds a way if you let it, because there's all these different opportunities and avenues to ways to feel in life. And if you don't have like control over that, then sometimes the relaxing times, where it's your opportunity to kind of absorb into something, it like eats into it. Nobody likes getting eaten. Nobody likes when things get eaten into. So yeah, I don't know. And all this internet stuff, I mean, shit. I talk about my main half my spiel is how you're gonna get dragged into something that doesn't really help you and makes you feel bad. A lot of motivational content like doesn't really help you and it makes you feel bad. So anyway, let me take a celebratory here. Let's get some paraphernalia on the screen so we can get rejected to the community. Community bygones. Let bygones be bygones, We're here to kind of meditate and have a peaceful vibe. And, how do this flow of time that we get stuck into? And we're stuck in this loop. And you get stuck in this flow and this loop. Like, how do you escape from that? Because you try to go outside and you get blinged off the thing. And then you're way out of it. And you lose track. And then you try to go inside, this loop-de-loop, this current loop. Try to go inside and you just get sucked into it more. And that's it. It's just the balance. It's like a teeter-totter, dude. We're out here just teetering, tottering. And if you go to one side of the teeter-totter, you're going to fall. It ain't going to work. You got to keep going back and forth. And if you learn how to jump from each side like a freaking, you watch Winnie the Pooh, like the Tigger, man, he's jumping. He would jump from side to side. It'd be crazy. You got to be like Tigger. You got to learn to jump from both sides of the seesaw and the teeter-totter. You got to be both. Because if you just sit there on one side and you're only concerned, you have all your eggs in one philosophy or one body of work or one way of thinking or one routine. Well, shit, what do you think is going to happen? You ain't going to go nowhere. You're not going to be bouncing back and forth like a Tigger. And the thing is, you're going to have to find your own way to do that as well, because the most wonderful thing about Tiggers is that they are the only one. He's the only Tigger, dude. Like, you're not ever going to be really exactly like him. They say there's nothing like a Tigger, but you could at least learn to go back and forth and balance. You could at least learn to balance your life. Which can be kind of painful sometimes, I don't know, and confusing. I don't know, confusing. Confusion is an emotion where it exists. If something exists, then it must be good, right? It must be meant to be if it exists, right? Why would your brain function to be confused? Well, maybe it's kind of fun. Maybe being silly and confused and not knowing what the fuck's going on can be where the best of times and the best of ideas and the best of vibes can blossom from. So yeah, what am I? Am I a motivational speaker? I ain't your Huckleberry. I ain't your Huckleberry. You're your own Huckleberry. Huckleberry Finn, dude. It's a saying if you don't know what that is. If you say I'm your Huckleberry, it's like saying I'm your guy. That should happen. You should feel like that. That's a good thing to feel. I don't care what the hell it is. You should be somebody's Huckleberry in some situation. I don't care what the fuck it is. I swear to God, I don't give a shit. A rat's ass. If you are the guy, let's say that you like the sports streams. I don't know. It's a good. I watch sports streams. Let's say you're the guy that goes in there and puts floppy balls once per day, once per stream. He enters the chat by saying floppy balls. And there you go. Now that's the guy that says floppy balls. He's your Huckleberry when it comes to being the guy that enters the room saying floppy balls in all caps. So I don't really just there's got to be something, you know. And it starts once you start gearing up. Like, oh, you're the guy that does this, then you're the guy that does that, then you know what it's like to be this guy and that guy and this guy. Like me, oh, the guy that comes and cleans the cotton candy sometimes at the mall, blah blah blah. The guy that gets blue cheese in his hair when he goes out and eats wings. You know what I'm saying? Like, the more shticks you have, the more fun it is. And sometimes we get a little brainwashed to think things like that, like, oh, you get teased for that. You'd rather, trust me, you would rather be a known unknown than an unknown unknown. You feel me? Like, you'd rather be the person that, oh, I see them at the place scratching his ass. You'd rather be that guy than, like, a ghost. You feel me? And it's good to communicate. So even if, you know, you haven't talked to anybody all day, bam, that guy, Detroit Tigers baseball comes on, boom, that guy enters the chat, he says floppy balls, and it just feels good. It's a good vibration. Well, that's, you know. Kitty, your Kitty's being sketched. Kitty's running all over the place like a wild thing. She's up to no good. She's plotting, communicating with other cats. They're plotting a takeover. No, cats wouldn't do that. They'd already have done a takeover. You know, secretly ruling the world. All of our personalities are actually just our cat. We don't know it. It explains everything we do. Execute the vision. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of momentic hazards available. Whether it's some kind of news story you've had enough of, whether it's a person in your own life that doesn't talk to you properly that you're tired of. There's a lot of enforcements of silly rules that could happen to you or somebody else that just might piss you off. Sometimes you go around all day and everybody looks pissed. So there is a lot of momentic hazards. I mean, the nature of our news system, what a lot of people are widespread, you're supposed to pay attention to, is just one big momentic hazard in itself. So you're talking about your momentum and how you feel in the moment. There's already something trying to drag you down. And when it drags you down, the longer you stay dragged down about it, the worse it gets, the longer vibration you just experienced it for. But anyways, yeah, like sometimes, somehow, and I don't think about these people, I don't care about these people, but I scroll on my feed looking for like the UFC conference or Cleveland Cavaliers coach interview or talking points about the Browns. And I see Tim Dillon, a comedian that I used to actually listen to his podcast. I don't really know if I was a fan of his, but I kind of used to listen to him. He was almost someone that I would listen to that I just didn't agree with a lot and thought he was a bitch, but I would expose myself to it in order to like understand people better. I understand Tim Dillon. He's a grifter. It's not about who Tim Dillon is on his show. He's trying to be a Tonight Show guy. He went from Joe Rogan spear comedian talking about his degenerate past, and pretty much, I mean, shit, dude, if I would say the whole like, oh, I'm all sober, and I don't know if he smokes weed, probably takes Adderall, like they're out there in California sober, you feel me? This dude's California sober. You know, he's the way he talks and acts, he's yanked up on something. Listen, man, if somebody has problems from the past, like me, I can't come on here if I'm just normal. Hell no. I gotta have like some coffee at bare minimum. Coffee in a pouch, bare minimum. So yeah, you know, you're not telling me this guy comes from having issues to then being some kind of, you know, podcast lord. You have these podcast lords now. And within that, if you have probably 10,000, everybody's got 10K. You know what I'm saying? If you can put yourself together and throw yourself on camera, you got at least 10. There's 10K, just statistical probabilities. There's 10K people who are gonna. It's their favorite shit. They like you. Maybe they don't listen to too much shit, but they like you. Blah blah blah. You're amongst their favorites. You feel me? Or maybe even at least, even if somebody you can see now, people are like crazy, just homeless, borderline homeless people, like arguing with the chat. They've got 10K followers. Like, now again, out of those 10K followers, if those people had better consumption habits, you'd still have probably 1,000 people interested in that, but it really would be way to, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. If the algorithms worked just a little bit different and gave smaller content creators a little bit more love, not that it doesn't, but again, I have no interest in Tim Dillon. I'm pretty sure I've told the thing not to show me Tim Dillon. And so why the hell do I see a short? And I have to click it, but I can't listen to him talk. I actually cannot listen to Tim Dillon talk for more than, I don't even know, you guys. It's not long. It's less than 30 seconds. It might be more like 10. It might be more like 3 or 2. I mean, we could test it out right now. Let's see. All right. This is Bryan's famous podcaster. I'm not a comedian. I'm really that weird and just make fun of myself, but in a good way, in a moral way, for people to learn from, not laugh at. Like he has 1.18 million subscribers and gets like 500,000 to 1 million views on YouTube on his podcast. God, just USA versus China. Ugh, let's look at the titles of his episode. Alien Invasion and Trapped Trump. Hantavirus Cruise and iPod Babies. The Tim Dillon Show at number 495. Dude, it's like a drunk college kid made a podcast. He sits and watches Fox News for 8 hours a day, getting drunk, and by the end of it, you have a bunch of stupid shit to say about what you just saw. Now, again, He's got at least 10K He's enough of a loud mouth. I think he would have, who knows, maybe even like 100,000. I don't know. But like a lot of these people that watch every single podcast and invest in watching his show, and there's other shows available, there's perhaps someone that they would like more and vibe with more. And maybe even is better and better for them as a person, and gets them to care about not this news cycle, but how to get away from all that shit, how to get out of this loop. How the fuck do we get out of this? And it's details. It's details that a lot of places that if they told you the details, you wouldn't spend as much time listening to them. You know what I'm saying? Shit. I'd say a lot of things that might cause someone to be like, you know what, he's right. I'm not, but you're here on the internet, so sorry, goodbye. I got to go read a book. I like your stick. It's hitting home, but part of your stick is get the fuck off this thing. And don't listen around. I mean, you're talking about hour and 6 minutes talking. First off, he's only putting up an hour and 6 minutes. And you know how super edited. I'm doing this live. I can't edit my podcast, make myself sound better. I do it live to prove it. To prove I got the sauce and the butter. All right, ready? Let's try it. Melania's mission. Like, imagine, oh, what's my episode? Oh, we're going to talk about the thing with Melania Trump. Melania's mission. I can't believe this has more views than me. We should have thousands of people being like, yes, Bryan, you're right. Tim Dillon is fucking square. Let's go brigade him and get him to can't stop doing what he does. No. Look at all these members only episode. You fucking sell out. Well, shit. All right, ready? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon show. Why is he wearing sunglasses? Because he's on so many drugs, his face is falling apart. Oh, he looks so pale and red at this. Ew. Yeah, see, this is not a gay man. See, this is not it. It's Tim Dillon. The whole gay thing with Tim Dillon is just a cover up for that he's a pred. And I've always said that. And he's talking about the airplanes. I've never felt less safe sitting on a tarmac waiting to take off. I have never personally felt less safe. And I'm going to say that again. I'm going to start talking about this and making it sound like what I'm saying is actually way more important than what it actually is, because I don't have sauce like Bryan's world. And my idiot editor is going to have to try to scrap together me sitting here for 3 hours losing my mind over what I just drunkenly watched on Fox News because I'm Tim Dillon. And this is how I make my show. And I'm going to tell you my feelings about all these plane crashes. And I'm so devastated that the people of airports around the United States have to deal with this now. I'm speechless. Once again, I'm just speechless with and then things these days, let me tell you what really grinds my gears. Dude, do you realize everyone's just running the script of what really grinds my gears? Like most comedians shows, most things. They're really just talking about what it's literally they're just doing a Family Guy bit. When Peter make a show and he's like, you know what really grinds my gears? He was on the news. Peter Griffin was on the news. He had a news segment till I'm sure he did something inappropriate to get kicked off. I'm sure that's what the script was. And everyone's like, hell yeah, that Peter guy speaks for the people. Like, what really grinds our gears, you know? Bruh, after that came out, like, I bet you could look. Whenever that episode came out or got more popular, or, you know, grind, and everyone was talking about that. You know what really grinds my gears? When you seen that from Family Guy. Everyone always talked about that. It was one of the most popular things in Family Guy. You know what really grinds my gears? Someone making a show about what really grinds their gears. And here's the characters like Tim Dillon in today's podcast economic business doom sphere. Just chatty Cathy about the news and just nothing else ever. Dude is now trying to be just a sellout news pander to all these people obsessed with this. Because guess what? If I tell you to break free from the right versus left, he might stop watching shit. You might do something better with your life instead of watching content that's right versus left. And that might include myself. And why would I want to spook anybody off from using the precious internet algorithms to doom feed their brains about what they need to be upset about next? It's preposterous. So yeah, I can't do it anymore. I don't know about Joe Rogan. Should I try to listen to him? I mean, I want to like these people, but let's skip like 5 minutes. Immediately, wait, what? This is not to say anything bad about Amy Poehler. I see now he starts, once he brings up one celebrity name. If you have a podcast show that talks about celebrities, you suck. You understand? I don't really talk much about celebrities. If you're sitting there talking about the rabble and what this celebrity said and who said on Twitter, your show sucks. And you're the reason that everybody sucks. Tim Dillon is the reason that you go out and people suck these days, because they're reading this type of shit. They care about what Amy Poehler said in an email to... Who's Amy Poehler's the... Oh, God. What about talk about a feminization... You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm not into some of that shit, but like, for Christ's sakes, like the bitchiness of men. Like, that was a direct thing to make men more bitchy and want to be like Leslie, the Parks and Recreations. That's who Amy Poehler is, right? Parks and Recreations, bitch. I remember like watching that show by season 5. I was like, I can't root for this Amy anymore. I want to see her fail. And then it actually was kind of funny. And then she won in that, and then it started going good for her in romance, and I'm like, no. Yeah, no, not that it's like a feminization, more of like, what's a better word? Bitchiness. Because she's always bitching about different stuff with the Parks and Recreations and trying to make the parks a better place. How dare you get into politics to make things better? That's not what politics is about, and it's a very unrealistic show. Even your local parks and your rangers do things like remove basketball hoops from community apartments that are used by the kids. Now the fishermen just took it over for their own little parking lot. They would always park and get in the way of the kids and me trying to play basketball. And it's the biggest parking lot it's the longest parking lot I've seen in my fucking life. No, not actually, but it's pretty freaking long. You feel me? Like, I couldn't throw a football in this whole parking lot. I had to take 2 throws. It's a long ass parking lot. And I can throw like 30 yards, bud. Back in high school, I could throw like 38 yards. They called me Mattress Mahomes because they was snoozing on me. Yep. I'm divorced, but I'm not yell at my wife divorced. I'm yell at the government divorced. Let's take a quick intermission. Boom, doom, tests. Let me go pee. Might poop myself too. I mean, let's be honest. Do you think you watch that show, Tim Dillon? I mean, people think it's funny because it's Tim Dillon talking about blah, blah, blah. Not that his blah, blah, blah. If it was actually, what if it was actually just a drunk kid watching Fox News all day and then talking for an hour, talking to himself for an hour? But you know it takes him way longer to make that shit. You know you know how long. It's not very good. What's next in podcasting? You know, what's groundbreaking? What's different? What's a new experience for people? You're an OG. Shouldn't the OGs that's what you're supposed to, that's what podcasting is fucking about. And these people just learn this little script of what gets them some money and what's easy to produce, and then they do that. Dude, I used to do news shows. You know how easy that shit was? This shit's so much harder. What I do now, trying to make things that will stand the test of time. Calling people out for what they were. But also, you ain't gonna watch an hour and 14 of Tim Dillon without him telling you to take a second, have some gratitude for the things that are good. Look around. Everything might not feel the best. Or maybe it does feel the best. But you know, so have gratitude for it if it does feel the best. And even if it feels the worst, you can find something. Well, at least I don't like to do the you got to shelter and water and food. You know, but you can go a little farther than that. If you have internet access, it's pretty dope. You have a lot of access to all sorts of information that would make your life more meaningful and more powerful. Not that that's the mainstream, and if you just hop on one of these apps and don't know what you're doing, if you were just a person that was in prison for 50 years and you got out, you're like, what's all this bullshit? Imagine 40 years. Imagine being out of society for 40 years and then hop into an internet algorithm. You get sucked into some crap. You get sucked into all the news rabble, and you wouldn't even really know. It'd probably be overwhelming. You probably wouldn't like it. This was almost a slow burn to get us to this place where we, you know, I was with some normies last summer or last spring, who would talk about what they saw in what is their algorithm feeding them today. And that's in the back of my head, like, these motherfuckers don't hand me a check without me seeing nothing in about 2 weeks. I'm gonna throw away all this hard work I've done, all these notes and everything. I'm gonna fuck off. I'm gonna moonwalk out of their life and maybe piss on my way out a little bit, but that's how I do it. Moonwalk out of their lives while pissing your pants. I mean, I was offended sitting in that vehicle. How dare you? Talking about what they saw in the algorithm, not what they saw in Bryan's world. I'm the number one rated and most viewed podcast in the entire netherworld. I have this spiritual guides watching me and rooting for me and my ancestors. No, I don't. Well, yeah, I don't. What, I think we are our ancestors, though, for real. I think we are our own ancestors. I think it's like a soul thing, you know, like you reincarnate into the next. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like your cat could have been your grandma 2,000 years ago. Well, I guess people really didn't really have grandparents because they didn't live that long 2,000 years ago. So your cat was your dad. I don't know. Who are we to define any of this stuff? Who are we to step around on pins and needles worrying about what we're supposed to think about or what's going on in the world, good or bad? Who the hell are we? Yeah, when does it conspiracy lore, when does it go from, there's like phases, like I gotta try to tell people and then it's like, oh wait, I'm into some heavy duty shit and they're not gonna even believe me. I'm in some deep caverns of the internet getting some deep information. They think I sound crazy for saying this Jeffrey Epstein business guy is a freaking human trafficker. When you say that in 2016 versus 2026, big difference. People be like, yeah, let's talk about Epstein Island. And back then it was like, you're a conspiracy, you're crazy, you need help. You need help for knowing about how Jeffrey Epstein has been running this operation and is the head of the snake, and they're going to use him as a scapegoat to make it look like they got the bad guy, but really it just keeps going. Oh, there's not going to be. There's no with medical technology. We can't have a global. They wouldn't shut down. They wouldn't have a pandemic. That's not possible. That's what people said when I said they're saying stuff about something crazy, some kind of sickness. I'm just saying they're saying it a lot. They're saying they got documents out of the UN, some kind of plan. 2019 here, like it was years before. Like there's going to be something big that causes a massive change and shift, and is either going to be like people are going to go with it or they're going to go against it. Not really with mixed results. Mixed results. Everybody kind of went and got that the first. I think the boosters, nobody gave a fuck though. But again, I'm not allowed to talk about medical stuff or any of that. I'm not a doctor. I'm just reporting on some things that I heard about for comedic relief and entertainment, education, or not education, for entertainment relief, blah, blah, blah. Everything on this show is a farce. It's not fun anymore now that because everybody's like behind. There's all this stuff like MK Ultra and all this stuff that happened in the past. Like, well, we got to this so that we can't let the government do this kind of stuff in the future, man. And you start telling people, and it's like, well, wait a second. Then you start following things live and start seeing stuff in real time and calling stuff out before it happens and seeing it actually happen. And it's like, hold up. it's happening now. We got to do something now, brother. And then you go crazy, you know? And then it's almost like this is no longer healthy for me. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. Well, now it's just normal. It's just a very more widespread thing, all the conspiracy theories, 9/11, JFK, all the big ones. But if you were in the loop for a long time, there's an exhaustion. Even 3 years ago, oh, the AI is going to take it. Give it 3 years, people. I was yelling at everybody like it's going to be everything. If you allow this technology to exist in art and in apps and in the community and chat bots and all this shit, it is not going to be good for any. Is It's not healthy. Don't shoot the messenger, man. Shoot the powers that be. But yeah, I think what here? Okay, conspiracy theory development. The life cycle of being certain people going through the whole life cycle of conspiracy theories. I think it ends with being pretty chill and pretty spiritually awakened. It ends with you kind of finding your groove a little bit and finding yourself. Honestly, when you're exposed to all the uses of esoteric knowledge, like, oh shit, they're doing all this with the spiritual world, and they're using science and the technology to mass brainwash people. They're using all these manipulation concepts. Once you understand how that shit works, when it's like, well, I can now use all these ideals on myself, look into some of this esoteric, historic knowledge that's available, some of the older works of high level knowledge and spirituality. Terrence Shin type shit, for y'all know what I'm talking about. There's plenty of that shit out there. You have the option. People, every time they open that fucking YouTube app, you have the option to go watch Tim Dillon talk about what he saw on Fox News, or you can go listen to an audiobook of Terrence Shin and just be like, so I'm suddenly more grateful and feel at a good vibration because I brainwashed myself with high level spirituality instead of trauma based mind control by the government. And so yeah, being in the loop with everything that's going on. Well, if that's your job and that's what you get paid to do, and I think everybody needs a phase. But I think it comes to an end point. I really do. For most people, I think there's an exhaustion level. If you were in the loop back before everything got like TikTok, everybody knows about all the 9/11 everything now. You'd have to argue and fight with people about 9/11. Now it's like, dude, did you see I explained this to you 10 years ago. Don't tell me about something that I already tried to explain. Do you know George Bush was using his lizard powers to spiritually propel using the force, all of that to happen? It was actually, George Bush is a lizard reptilian. I already knew that. Now everyone knows that George Bush is a reptilian. Like, it's not fun anymore. But anyways, yeah, I think once you learn how people are conquered on a widespread basis, you can learn how to conquer yourself. And I don't want to say the term spiritual enlightenment, but I don't know, something like that. I think that's what being a conspiracy theorist can lead to. I think in a lot of cases it can have like some bumps in the rudder and some shake you up, make you go a little bit crazy. But once you start learning some of this esoteric knowledge that's just kind of this base level like light magic stuff, you you don't want to worry about how they're doing all the dark magic rituals and the satanic stuff. Unless you really need to get into Satanism. I guess I trying to respect everybody. I think some people are just a little bit disturbed, so they want to get into something disturbing. It's like, bro, but if you're selling your soul to the darkness and you don't have like I don't know, I hope you make money easily. You know what I'm saying? That's the point of selling your fucking soul. Like doing all these devil rituals. Just, I mean, I guess sometimes it's just energy and perception. Energy and perception can be a different beast than anything. Your energy level and your what you perceive and how you perceive life can transcend everything you know about it. It probably like again these rich people. It probably doesn't feel good to like need to want to have a lot of money. Once you know all of the like for the average person to make a lot of money, once you know kind of how you have to sell out, you're kind of weird if you want that. Like what? You'll be upper middle class, so you can post to your people you went to high school with on Instagram that your life turned out well. That's pretty much the pinnacle of 90% of people that chase money. You know, you could fight fire with fire. We could use dark magic to sometimes I guess I do use some dark magic. Threats are dark magic. You scare somebody to stop doing something. It's voodoo. Ooh. Like, all these billionaires. Like everyone's doing it now. Everyone, I've seen Twitter. They have a lot of like bots and things that get propped up by bots. And again, bot activity is more than human activity. But if you actually start scrolling and look at like the show me more and unfiltered, I mean, there's basically people, anything every post that a billionaire does, you're seeing like hate speech. 2 out of every 10 messages is hate speech, like die. Like, and dude, you know how many? Oh, those guys that are the assassins. Do you know how many freaking threats and crazy shit that they do online that somehow the NSA does not catch them? I have no clue. That's why it's just like, if you were to every day start saying I'm gonna band people together and we're gonna get you and blah blah blah. Yeah, eventually you're gonna get on a map, but if you're just joking about it every once in a while, everybody's doing. A lot of people are doing that shit. You're just fitting in to a certain demographic at that point, pissed off at the government and at least need to rant about it. And that's nice that they at least give us, I think. Oh, yeah, that's the thing with social media, though. Does it get you? Because, see, I can just, and then you almost feel bad. Well, they're human too. After you harass them, Mark Zuckerberg. I went on Mark Zuckerberg's on Facebook and was making threats to Mark Zuckerberg. I'm not playing, you guys. I'm like that. Threatening Mark Zuckerberg on his own website. Well, I've heard too much about data centers and metaverse and trying to, all the whack shit they do that's not good for society, not good for humanity and what it means to be a human. But yeah, again, you don't your energy level and perception is what I was saying here. So your energy level and perception of life, spending every moment, a lot of your time and resources trying to make as most money as possible as fast as possible, so you can consider like what is being successful. Okay, what is being successful? I have a brand, an online brand that's consistently making me $1,000 a month. Okay, is that successful? Did I do something with my marketing and sales degree? Well, yeah, it's pretty. You know, you got to keep things moving. You got to prove it over a long period of time. But is that riches? Is that a lot of money in my pocket? No, but I'll tell you what, it took a hell of a lot of work to be able to do it. Took a hell of a lot of time and years and months and weeks and focus. God damn, Katie. To be able to put that all together. Um, so if I can sit here and say that feels that's pretty cool. That feels like success. If I can keep that moving, that's a lot of success. That's not a very high bar. And I don't even like the idea of financial, but I like the idea of creating or being something that is worthy and representing something that is worthy of time and money, and helps people get through life. So I'm blessed to be able to do that. So if I feel successful, well, it doesn't matter. Like, well, I'm not. That's not making much money. That's like a part-time job. So we're still trying to scrap it all together. But you know what? That it's in my own hands a little bit. Yeah, that feels like success. That feels like your whole life. You're one scratching your head. I wonder what it feels like to be successful. Yeah, I think that's it. When you have a goal that's lofty and difficult and a pipe dream to most people, yeah, that's dope. That's powerful. It's something else. It's like it's next level. No, I don't have much money in my bank account. I'm still putting it all together, stressing out, getting pissed about dumb shit because I don't have the best consistency. But I don't feel like this urge of that. God, what moves do I got to make today? Fuck, how do I do? I don't have that worry. So if Elon Musk, in order for his brain to feel successful, he's got to keep going until he is a billionaire and works in the government. It's on the cabinet or whatever. He's the secretary of fucking energy. When he owns a ton, dude is the secretary of energy, and he owns a company called Tesla, which was named after the guy that got labeled and shut down for creating free energy. His name was Nikolai Tesla, and they use his name now on an electric car. That the batteries are probably need like uranium in that bitch. I don't know what they use. I just have heard that what it takes to produce those batteries is like some high hella chemicals, hella shit, just produce ick, like a byproducts, nasty byproducts, waste. What the fuck do you do with all this nasty waste from all these chemicals you mix together, like to make a battery? Like, So he didn't have to feel like he still feels like probably every day I got to structure my day so I'm busy and doing all these things and having this business, having that. I can't just focus on one thing, kind of take my foot off the gas because I feel successful and I feel achieved. I have enough money. I'm set for life. Why the fuck do you keep going? You got to be messed up. You got to be mad about. You got to be so goddamn mad about something that you're willing to try to become the richest person in history to try to prove that I'm like. He got some, and you've heard stuff about, he's got baby mamas, he's got kids all over. Like, you think he's that solid of a dude? What do you think it's like if to act all that and to have all those things we know about Elon Musk? Do you think no matter how much money he has, it obviously doesn't matter. Money doesn't matter to him. It doesn't matter. Success doesn't matter. There is something missing in that dude's fucking brain to feel good or relaxed. So he spends every waking hour optimized, like Andrew Huberman. Full male optimization. I'm operating at full time, Elon. I am ready to. Well, he might be an automaton robot. He's a bot, dude. Not real. Probably not real. I never seen him in person. If I did, I'd beat the shit out of him. I don't incite violence, but I will. Don't come to Ohio, bro. It'd be bad for you. Last thing you do anymore. Stinking. So yeah, what do you what is success then? Because for some people, man, he ain't chilling, he ain't feeling successful. Man, that trickles down. Now everybody else is like, oh, I got to be like Elon Musk. Dude, it probably sucks ass to be him. To like even want to have that much of a legacy in that way, like be that popular and be that rich. Like at a certain point, you realize, like, yeah, okay, no one that doesn't feel good. That's not happy. He's like, there's something going on good. And that's what people asked a long time ago. And with this internet stuff, people had the information of what was going on underneath the hood. And that information gave the people the power to see in real time, get the information that's telling you about what's going to happen next. The brain chips, buddy. Brain chips coming up soon. Yeah, coming. Synced up with the 5G, they're literally going to be able to geo control you from New York. Dude, you'll be like a replay center. Your life is now the replay center in New York for MLB baseball. Nice, that's real great. Let's go to the replay center in New York. Oh, this guy's been jacking off too much. Better fucking take control of his left hand for the next 72 hours. I don't know, dude. That's probably what we're gonna, when everybody's plugged in and you hear that Bryan's world was a patsy for the Russians and he's been removed and put in Alcatraz for talking about the truth and refusing to get the brain chip. When you hear about I was actually a Russian agent for saying don't get the brain chip, that's when I was told you so. I hope this time you keep hoping like, oh great, if there's going to be this pandemic where they're trying to get everyone to this blah blah blah, I hope everybody doesn't just go get it like and be a fucking sheep. But that already happened once, so I don't have much faith. They're like, yeah, everybody can get the chip. We got the chip for everybody. You're not gonna get the chip. Everyone's got the chip. You get the interface. You get the phone interface in your head. How can you live without the chip? I can't even imagine my life without the chip. I'm telling you, the chip ain't even gonna be Bryan's we're allowed to talk no more. The chip gonna be over. Chip gonna be the end of it. If that chip gets commercial and everybody lines up for that chip, goodbye. That's late stage society. Merge with the machines. Mark of the Beast 666. End times, motherfucker. I'm willing to die in the end times. I'm not experiencing it. Maybe in my next life, my reincarnation, I'll be a little born in with a chip in my head. Ain't nothing I could do then. But in this life, if it comes to that, I want to be in my next life reading about myself. Like, yeah, there was this last revolution that ever happened in human history. It was Bryan's world, led one last fight against the Terminators. And like, they're fucking Terminators with machine guns, and they're made of steel. So we lost really badly. And really, it was just a crazy guy running on the White House and then got murdered by drones. Immediately gunned down by drones. You know, they get a couple people to run on the White House. A couple people per year that's like, I gotta talk to the president. I have how we can solve the Hormuz crisis. These people think that they have like ideas that would fix the world. Then do something, bitch. And if you everybody and their brother thinks they got the idea and the fresh angle. Oh well, if I was in charge, you know, you're in charge of your own life. You can look and feel how you want to feel. But they're taking our strength. They're sapping us, bro. They're sapping us. Not like Warren Sapp. Oh, all right. Let me take a un momentum. I'm gonna crack. I gotta go smoke my crack pipe. No, just kidding, you guys. I wish these had some more juice in them. Running low on that Bubba Hayes. That's good. I need a tolerance break. A few days in hell. No meds, no weed. Everything would come crashing down. But if I made it, if I made it 3 days without going to jail and not smoking weed, it'd be nice. But would it be nice enough to go through hell to get there? We'll find out on next episode of How I Met Your Mother, featuring Charlie Sheen. It was an intermission. Sponsored by Red Bull. No, I can't say that unless I actually have the sponsorship. It's a joke. That's more like it. Yo, I hope my cat don't run right into that freaking fan. My cat's been sprinting in there. To put the air conditioner and get the air in here. Dark. It is a white fan. She should be fine, but you might hear just a poor thing. I hope she doesn't do that. She'll spin jump it like Saquon Barkley. This is a professional podcast. Like, I don't know. What would it feel like? Like, if you were a Tim Dillon viewer and then you get into your little Discord and talk about what he just. I couldn't even. I don't even know. I can't do it with the news. Maybe if he was actually still funny and interesting and different, but now he's just what it takes for a sellout. And what would it be like to be a fan of a sellout? I don't know. I wish him well. He doesn't look well. You know, when I used to wear sunglasses in episode, yeah, because I have an episodes in an episode, yeah. You gotta there's something about being on camera and seeing somebody's motherfucking eyes. You can really tell something. Look at these nice, empathetic, caring brown eyes. Okay, this isn't a guy who's living a life of sin and lust and chasing temptation. This guy's kind of dealing with a lot of shit. Not doing a lot of escapism. You know? And I'm not participating in all that. Running from the problems. I'm all about creating more problems. I'm running away from multiple problems at once. Next level. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think it feels like to be Tim Dillon? And basically, you have to keep yourself in the loop with the news, everything that's going on, in the loop with all these celebrities, all these Hollywood demons, all these freaking phantoms, these evil genies who are taking your soul and holding you captive. So you think it's fun or successful or feels successful to be him? You think you feel successful? I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe he's got a lot of fucking money and he feels successful. But if you can't see someone's eyes in their own show, and he's wearing sunglasses is it bright back there? God, he looks like a ghost in the last. He looks like a ghost man wearing sunglasses. He looks so pale, like he'd been inside, literally drinking beer, watching Fox News all day, like ready to yap about how all the planes are crashing. He's never felt more unsafe on a tarmac. Yeah, Tim Dillon, because we all are all of normal people's lives are just like yours, and pretty much everybody always is like out there on the tarmac going, what do you mean you don't fly? Oh, I have to fly from tour to tour and from different famous people to go to suck each other's what's that from? Was it South Park or Rick and Morty? No, South Park. My jag on. They got the Jewish aliens. It's like, suck my jag on. And they're doing smack. Hey kid, you want to do some smack? It's this pile of like got in a line to snort this pile of like purple crystals. And Kenny, dude, Kenny does a line. Oh man, we sucked each other's jag-ons. How many? He's a jag-on. I don't know, dude, because I'm an empathetic person. So you know why I care about this stuff? Because the motherfucker looks unwell. And I know I was making fun of him for being a pred. I don't know any of that stuff. It's a joke. I'm a comedian. I'm in a stage in my career where I'm still nobody and can call out the pedophile ring. If I keep doing that, eventually it'll be like, listen, dog, we'll let you roll, we'll let you get your views and build your community, but don't be calling that shit out. We'll ice you. We'll hijack your soul. We'll send Agent Smith. I don't know. Part of like my news is trying to figure out like, yeah, why do people care? Unless something is directly impacting their life. Why do you care about the Straits of Hormuz? Why do you care about what Amy Poehler said in a tweet about Donald Trump or something? Why do you fucking care? Like, what woke you up today? I can't even look at this stuff to care. If I start caring about it, I get upset and I have to do something else. I just yell at it and then I move on. You listen to me here? I'm gonna come down to, dude, the Amazon and NBA. Listen, man, you had to have it. Let me toke this up and then we talk. Hold up. Let me talk about that. I just spilled my water. Oh, that burns. It came out my nose. Ow. But, my bad. Sipping on water. We gotta get more water. Bruh, if you had to think of two things, two organizations that make a whole bunch of money, and then maybe you might think, hey, don't you guys make enough fucking money? Don't you think you can make your product widely available? Why would you do anything in any circumstance to make something less available for people? How would you put someone in a situation where they might not be able to like watch a sports game when you're Amazon and the NBA? I get that it's a great opportunity for you both to make more money from whatever Amazon is paying the NBA and whatever Amazon makes from people buying shit off their fucking streams and whatever people it drives to their website that end up making purchases. So I get that it's a great opportunity for you to make more money. You pay your players $40 million a year. Their rosters are like $300 million a year or something. It's something crazy for sports now. It's out of control. It's already out of control. So why would you ever do anything that makes the game less watchable, less available? You know, if you take it off TV, that there's going to be members of the older demographic who can't watch the game because it's on Prime. I guess if someone really, really wanted to watch it, they could figure out how to get Prime. But like my grandparents couldn't watch the game. They don't have Amazon Prime. They don't use it. They don't need it. They're not going to purchase it to just watch a basketball game when basketball isn't even their favorite sport anyways. Why the fuck would they pay money when they usually can see the game? I'm at the point with basketball where I don't watch much until the playoffs. I'll listen on the radio, but I don't want to watch a free throw contest. I can't sit around, I'll put the game on maybe in the background, put games on in the background. I can't sit there and watch that shit. I'll get pissed off. And that's like tonight. I end up yelling at my TV. My daughter, I don't really yell at her much, but I'll yell in front of her when it's something like this bullshit. Because we had just got off the FaceTime with my granny and Gramps. And they don't have Amazon Prime. I looked it up. I'm like, there's no way it's on Amazon Prime for Game 7 of an NBA playoff series. That's not something that needs to be on TV. Like if you're in Cleveland or you're in Detroit for tonight's game, bro, that should be on TV somewhere. And I don't know, maybe if it was on TV. I don't have normal cable, so I wouldn't know, but I do have Amazon Prime. Because I buy shit from Amazon. I want free shipping. By the end of the year, even if I only get things like once every other month or once every couple of months, I got a lot of shit recently. I got all sorts of lights for my apartment. It's pretty special and dandy out there. All sorts of stuff to make your home better, like a shoe rack for my closet, so the shoes just aren't all spread out on the floor. It might be organized, but they took all that floor space. Now I stacked them up and just saved a whole bunch of space. If I get another one, save even more space. When you live in an apartment, to be able to optimize space is important. It's all about squeezing a lot into a little. What's the point of having a lot if it's a lot to deal with? What's the point? What is the fucking point? Every time I think about like a $10 million mansion and like seeing the tours and inside of it, I get paranoid. I was like, who the fuck won't live in that shit? Where the fuck am I gonna put all my shit, bro? It's just too big and elegant and like perfect. Like I can't. I gotta walk all the way. I gotta walk a whole acre. I gotta walk multiple acres just to go get like some sunglasses. Imagine if I need water. I'd have to kiss. You gotta stay stockpiled, blah, blah, blah. What if I vomited? What if I got kratom sick and I couldn't make it to the toilet and vomited all over the marble floors and then fell and died? That's what I think about when I see $1 million mansion. I don't want to fall and die of my own vomit. like all these famous people do. It's kind of like what I think of famous people. Just going around fucking slipping in their own vomit. Is that what I do? I admit that I'm highly flawed. I'm not some just like everybody else, maybe a little crazy. I think people get a god complex. Or again, like does that feel successful? Like Kim Kardashian. Do you think Kim Kardashian? What's it like to be Kim Kardashian? What do you think it's like? Probably sucks a little bit. Like to wake up and be Kim K. It'd be cool for a couple days and then get fucking old, bro. Because once you get to a place like that, your life is never the same, and there's actually less outcomes. Once you reach the high point pinnacle, boom, there's less outcomes. There's not much. Is way down. Buckle up for the way down. Everybody's got a way up and a way down. You know, radio and talking is where you get the long haulers, brother. That's why I'm gonna next gen, dude. Doesn't matter. If I do things for 50 years, by the time I die, probably be a lot of people that know I exist. That's what it's all about, right? No, that's not what it's all about. I don't care. If that happens, that happens. I think everything's too judgy, you know? You don't want to get pulled into that shit. Like, go watch the other live streams, okay? It's just everybody screaming their opinion at each other. The person on the screen and the people in the chat. Opinions are garbage. Throw them out. Unless it's like fun and making you laugh and smile. I don't know if it's healthy or good to have that many opinions. And it seems like people are trying to get as many opinions, as many things as possible, and it's gonna drive you fucking insane. It's almost like eating shit. It's equivalent to scat fetish, bro. Our society is basically might as well go eat your own poop. Might as well be like my ex-girlfriend and be in the scat. No, I don't know that for a fact. Sus. When someone tells you that they piss in a jar for money, maybe like the third day you've known them, what I've learned now is it's probably a cover up to throw something slightly shocking at you, to cover up for things that are even more shocking than that, to potentially either lessen the blow or hide the knowledge. Where's your girl on the scat meter, cuz? On the way turned up. I'm a pasta scientist. I make different pastas. I do a deep dish. I do a short dish. I do a long dish. You ever do long dish pasta? I do a square dish pasta. I do a circle dish pasta. Pierogi dish pasta. I got the best meatball rigatoni, son. I put Rick Simpson oil in the rigatoni, and now everybody's all fucked up at the family party. Now I can use my voodoo powers to compel them to propel my vampire cult. That's not good. I'm not a golden boy, I'm a diamond boy. More like zirconium. Yeah, cool. We're playing ball. We're chilling. We're playing ball. All right, that's all I got for the show. Thank you all for tuning in. As always, keep it real. We will catch you next time. Peace.